everyone to the pilot episode or first episode of the Asia Cricket Podcast. I'm Darren Bruff. I'm from Australia, and with me is Rushikesh, who is in Nanded in Maharashtra. So, yeah, this first
Yeah,
episode, we're just going to talk about who we are and why we are starting this project, and yeah, what we hope to get out of it. So, Rushi, I'll start with you. So, obviously, tell me about yourself. Like, how old are you? Where you're from, and why do you love cricket?
yeah. Thanks for having me here, Darren. It was a pleasure. We have been working with Indian cricket, and you have been a very huge fan of Indian cricket. So I appreciate that. Being an Australian and following the other countries' cricket, it's crazy, you know. So here I am. My name is Rushikesh Ambulgekar, and I live in currently Nanded. It is Maharashtra. It is a small town in India, but I generally live in Pune, which where I work. I work in a MNC company for currently, and we have been friends. I have been friends with Darren. Since for 4 years now, more than 4 years, I would say. And it's been a fun. Having chat about crickets and etc. Speaking about the Indian culture, Australian culture. So it's been a very fun and looking forward to get this going, and especially on now like in the format of podcast. So yeah, great.
Sweet. So, obviously, this podcast is going to be about cricket, and it'll be centrally
Yes,
around specifically cricket in the subcontinent, and probably
yes,
mostly India, given that's who we support.
yes, yeah,
But we do want to definitely promote, particularly Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka,
yeah.
now Afghanistan are
Afghanistan.
very strong now. So Rushi, so tell me what got you into cricket? Like, was it a particular player or a particular series, or like your family member, or yeah, just tell me why you love this game that we love that is also very frustrating at the same time.
I just can't explain in a words that how much I love this game. This cricket. I just not about the Indian matches. I do watches even Sena country matches, especially because I love their grounds and their stuff, like the spectators. Because if you focus that Asian cricket fan is generally focused on limited overs game. But if you see the Sena countries, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and England, they are very much passionate about the white red ball cricket and the Test cricket. So when I was growing up, there was a news that India won the World Cup in 2007. So that was the break. That was the break for me to get going with the cricket. And I was very small, that I would say maybe mm, 10 years old. I don't know exactly, but yeah, 10 years old, I would say. So I was like, yeah, especially winning a World Cup is not, whatever the format it is, winning a World Cup is special for any country. So then I starting following cricket. Then I knew some of the players like Sachin Tendulkar, Glenn McGrath, Anil Kumble, and the Muthaiya Muralidharan. So there are very few guys. I knew that time. So after winning the 2007, I didn't follow any of the other series. I used to watch Doordarshan. So many of the Indian fans here might be know what is the Doordarshan, and we used to have a test match cricket also on Doordarshan, but now we don't get it. So uh, I just started it. Then after 2009-10, Sachin was peak of his career. He broke the Brian Lara's record, and then I realized he's a special guy. Everyone know that he is a special, but I didn't know because I was a very small child growing up watching cricket, and realized that he is a great, not just special. He is the greatest batsman ever had in our planet, probably after Don Bradman. Of course, he was another greatest person. After then there was a spark. When Sachin broke the Lara's record at Mohali, I still knew there was a match between Australia and India. I didn't follow, honestly, I didn't follow that match. I just was seeing that particular moment on a news channel in India, Hindi news channel. So after that day, I started following cricket, and some of the series I watched after that, the Sri Lankan series, and there was a bowler called uh, Velegedra. I knew still Velegedra, yeah, and he took bang, bang, bang 3 wickets of us, and we were like 20 for 3 down. And that innings, I knew that particular the innings of Rahul Dravid, he made something like 170s and 170s or 180s. And from that was the probably that was my first live test match against Sri Lanka, India versus Sri Lanka, which I saw for, I mean, 10 to, I mean, 50 to 60 overs in a day. So thereafter, especially India won the World Cup, and I can say that was the I matured. I become matured as a cricket fan, and knew all the rules. What does it? How does it go about, and all the things. And that was especially a big moment of winning a World Cup. Of course, it was in a home. We have some certain advantages there playing in home conditions, but still, it was our good team. And then when we went to the England, and we lost bang, bang, bang 4-0. So it was a craziest moment. And then I
Was this
was
when
amazed that
Dravid was captain? Sorry. Is this when Dravid was still captain before
no,
MS Dhoni took as Test captain?
Kumble was a captain actually.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
2007,
yeah,
8. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I came here as
So before winning the World Cup, we were the number one test team in the world, and that was I didn't know what is a test match, what is a I mean, what is a number one. I mean, being a child and being an average cricket fan, I always used to enjoy the moment. But I didn't know anything about the test cricket. I just knew that the 4 innings like this follow on something like that. But the legacy, what is a test cricket about? How Australians and English and South Africans and New Zealanders give very much importance to that. And I was like, what is this boring cricket, and why they give so much importance to that? Then after when we went to 2011 and got bang, bang, bang 4-0, then I saw the video of Saurav Ganguly, Harsha Bhogle, Sunil Gavaskar, and Ravi Shastri, I think, talking in a Star Sports studio after we lost first match at Lords and Zahir was injured. And then after I clicked that how important is to save our ballers and fitness, etc., etc., like those things. And was, and when I was a child, I was like, we were like a world champion, and how can we lost 4-0? So I was mixing the both the formats like one day and test. How can this happen? And even we lost the one day series as well, 3-0 something. Two were washed out. I mean, one when the one match we were winning that match, but suddenly rain come like that, something like that happened. I didn't follow whole that. I mean, the time span was different as was in England, so I didn't follow that series. So of course, then after that moment, I mean, between 2011 to 13, that moment I got realized that how much importance is test cricket, and that as Australian fans say that T20 is a Mickey Mouse cricket. And then then I was I mean, yes, I was an understanding why they say that, and it was right actually. I mean, test cricket is the best. Test cricket is the real cricket. And then we won the 2013 Champions Trophy, and I followed that whole match. I mean, it was raining. I was just watching commentaries, highlights, everything. Finally, somehow the match happened 2020, and we won it. I mean, it was a crazy match. I mean, nobody would have thought that we were winning after scoring 128 runs. I mean, after 2013, I followed my complete test series. I mean, being an Indian fan, I followed complete Ashes series. That Ashes was in England. Before that, I followed that India versus Australia, which we won. I mean, India won the 4-0 in India.
yeah,
And then after that was first whole series I mean followed. Even I knew that Dhoni's double hundred. We were struggling, and he just came and bang bang. Nathan Lyon was
yeah.
absolutely all over the park, and it was a great innings. I mean, because he's that player. He doesn't have a great technique, but when he starts playing his big shots, he is unstoppable.
Yeah, he's
So
special, and he's
yeah,
so
yeah.
unorthodox.
So yeah, So once we won that 4-0, and I was like, yeah, we are some team and we can do better things. I mean, we can do, I mean, better things in. And that moment, I realized that we have been very awful in overseas. That moment, I realized that India is a very, very awful team, especially in Test cricket. We have lost more matches than winning the matches. I mean, if you see that India's record, we
Yeah,
have lost more Test matches than won matches.
every time I
So
go
there
into
are,
Crick Info,
yeah,
I see all the comments.
yeah. So
52
there was a, yes, so
Pakistan.
yeah, yes. So there was a one time, first the Star Sport released one song. Actually, it was by Cricket, Sky Cricket. It was released by them. You hit me once, I hit you back. You that song for Ashes in England.
Oh, yeah.
One of the Kevin Peterson song. You hit me once, I will hit you back. So I just what is this? I mean, they are giving importance to this Ashes series bigger than World Cup. What is it about? So I just make myself ready that I will watch this whole entire series. And I just watched that entire series. England won it 3-0, and Clark was very angry. And the last match, England was about to win. That umpire comes and they said, "Oh no, bad lights, and we should have to stop play." And they might have won that 4-0. And there was another controversy there that all the English players peed on the ground after winning that, celebrating that Ashes moment. So it was another controversy. Don't know many of the people's know about it, but still it was. So then that moment, I mean, 2013 and 14, I was a fan of Test cricket. That's the moment, and I was, I mean, when India toured New Zealand and India toured Australia, I was the one who used to wake up at 5 a.m. and Warner and Smith were banging us bang bang bang, and they were scoring 600 and 500 and 400 runs, and
Yeah.
we were like and we were our bowlers like childish bowler like Varun, Aaron, Umesh Yadav going all over the parks. That was very. And then that moment happened. Kohli scored 200s in Adelaide. I mean, if I keep explaining, that would be a 5 to 6 hours video. But
Yeah, because
I
I
just
have to talk
yeah.
about that innings as well when I.
Yes. So that's how we went, and it went. And if you ask me what is your favorite form, of course I will say Test cricket. Test cricket is the best cricket because, so whatever we won recently in Australia, the Australians will never forget in next 20 years, and Indians will also not, of course.
Yeah,
What we did, I mean, being a win down, being an one down team, 36 all out, and we have created history. Australia had never lost a series, being 1-0 up in last 100 years. I mean, that is another record. And the
yeah.
32 years of
You,
record of GABA. I mean,
like you
this is
could make
crazy.
like another Test 11 of
Yes,
unavailable
yes.
players that could beat this
Yeah.
Indian team. Like if you think,
Yes, yes,
Rahul,
yes,
Kohli, all the bowlers, and
yes.
yeah. But yeah, that's unprecedented. Like
I was the most angriest person when they selected Sundar over Kuldeep. I mean, I was crazy. How can, I mean, that guy who can't spin a ball, you are selecting him as a bowler, and who had just taken a 5 wicket haul in his first innings of his first Test match at Sydney. You are resting him up. So I was very angry, but the Sundar proved his worth, and he played a magnificent inning. And
it's
I mean,
Shardul moves the
yeah,
ball.
Shardul. I was very
His
impressed with
ball,
Shardul. I knew
even in
he can.
the
Yeah.
T20, he's got like a cross seam, and it's
Yes.
it's
Yes.
it's like drifts, and he got Steve Smith out in the one of the T20s, and it was it's almost
One of the
like
one days, last one days, it was played in Brisbane. Sorry, Canberra, Manuka Oval.
But he got,
Yeah,
and it's like,
lakeside,
and he had the
lakeside,
whole
lakeside. He
ball, and
was.
he was swinging it
Yeah,
like
yeah,
crazy. But
yeah.
we're gonna, our next episode we'll talk for the whole time about this series. So so
Yes. I think we have to create another one special episode for this. Speaking about this series, this was crazy series. I mean, this is as good as any World Cup.
yeah,
This
that's
is, yeah,
tomorrow's work. We'll this is our pilot. So for tomorrow's work we're going to be telling everyone our thoughts on the Test series just gone, and then the next episode after that we'll be previewing England,
Yes.
the England series, which has some cool selections, and the squad is available for that now. So tell me who's your like of current players, who's your top five? Just current players, including guys in IPL like AB de Villiers and
Is it about the Indian players, top five,
oh,
or
yeah,
all over the
yeah,
world?
yeah.
So of course the top would be the King Kohli. I mean, he is just, I mean, he's just unstoppable in every. If I have to select in three format players, I would pick Kohli, of course. And the second would be I have issues. I mean, I have some what I mean, what can I say? I have a competition between Joe Root and Ken Williamson, because Williamson have been awful in Australia and India as well, because his record is very much average,
Okay in Australia
especially in,
and India,
yeah,
yeah. But Joe Root especially,
yeah,
he
yeah,
he's so pretty to watch. He's technically uh,
yeah,
so perfect, you know.
yeah.
Next Ashes, he's gonna be big. Next Ashes here, very very big.
Yes. So that's what makes Kohli perfect. I mean, Williamson struggled in Australia. Joe Root badly struggled two series. He still haven't got 100 in Australia, being having played 9 or 10 matches in Australia. But there is a Kohli guy who 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 scored first turn in his third or fourth match, and after his
Yeah,
second
fourth game
tour,
in
he
Adelaide.
scored 4 turns, and that was a horrifying attack. By the way, the Ryan Harris and the Mitchell Johnson and
Yeah,
the Peter Siddle and the Stark and the Hazelwood, everyone was there, and going through all the 4 matches, and still he scored 400, and not just batting first, he was batting second. I mean, there is a amount of loads. I mean, when you are chasing a 500 or 600 on the boards, and you are still scoring 100, double hundreds, and 150s, like that
that
was
was that was the
that
year
was
after Mitchell Johnson like terrorized England. It was unbelievable. Like that was that series
yes,
before where
yes,
he's got like 40
yes,
wickets and everything. Like the
yes.
English were just scared of him. And then the next summer, Kohli basically he took him down, and then he only played one more series and he retired. Like one more series in Australia and he
Yes,
retired. Like I think Kohli really broke
yes,
him. He like Mitchell Johnson was getting hit for like 4 or 5 balls in an over, four or
yes.
five
He
four
was.
over.
I still knew on the second and third match, he was going a fine in an over
Yeah, in Sydney,
against
and
Kohli and Rahane.
Rahane was
Yeah,
just taking him down too. Yeah,
yeah. MCG. It was it MCG. I was bang bang pull shots, hook shots all over the park, and boxing the test match. And somehow we drawn that test match. It was a wonderful event as well as, I mean, we drawn, and it was Dhoni's last match.
yeah, yeah. And Dhoni took us to a draw. He made sure that Australia
Darren,
didn't
we
win.
know how much we love Dhoni, but we can't explain our our thoughts here. It is being recorded.
And so you Coley and Joe Root, and then who are three other players that you?
I would have to still pick up Williamson, as he's been very
Oh
good
yeah,
in his home conditions, and
he
good
is
in
pretty to
India as
watch.
well.
He is really he needs limited overs
Yeah,
cricket. He's very good
yes.
as well.
So the third one is he, and the fourth one is I would pick uh, a bit. I would say, you would say that bit confusing, but it's Pandya. I mean, he's gonna beat soon.
He's like my
I mean,
second favorite.
he
I love Hardik
uh,
Pandya.
I mean, he's gonna
I go home,
break
I'm
big
getting
star.
his hairstyle,
Yes,
like his old
but
hairstyle.
because sometimes what happens is you have a technique, you have everything, but if you lacks a temperament and positive attitude, you being end up like Vihari, like Rahane. People might hate me here why we are giving example of this, but Pandya doesn't have in a half technique as Rahane or half technique of Vihari. If you just look at his batting, but what makes him great is power hitting and his temperament to leave the correct ball, leave the way according to the playing according to the
Yeah,
situation.
he's a pressure
That's
player.
makes him a,
He's a game winner. He's special.
yeah,
He is special.
yeah.
Just needs to be fit.
And the fourth one is of course Ben Stokes, and he's great.
Yeah, yeah. He's another. He's special as
Yeah,
well. His batting is as
yeah.
good as any top
So
five player. And, you know,
yeah, so these are my five players: Kohli, Joe Root, Williamson, and because I didn't select Smith because Smith is a giant in Test cricket. He is very average in one day and T20. I mean, is
Yeah,
bit here and there. Yeah, because
he's still averaging 42. He's still very good. It's just I think what one thing that does take away from people's opinion of him is he he bats a little bit ugly. I mean, he's batting,
yes.
but
And
he's
now, yes, now
and what he
people
does
might
is
say that he just score. Now people might say that he just scored 60 ball hundreds back to back 60 ball hundreds against India. But remind me, you guys, that was one of the worst bowling, not a bowling attack, but bowling. But because Bumrah is not average bowler, Bumrah is a world class bowler. But it was I never seen that worst bowling of India in recent years,
especially
especially
Bumrah
in one day
coming
cricket.
back to back bowled really poorly
Yeah,
in that series.
yes.
Yeah. So your
And the
top
Lord
five?
Saini was, I mean, Lord Saini was like, we are ready. I am Australian jersey, and hey, Australia, I'm coming for you, like that. Bang, bang. So,
Okay, so your top five, you got Kohli, Williamson, Root, Pandya, and Stokes.
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So my turn. So with me for cricket, growing up, obviously cricket is it's big in Australia, but it's not the same as
Yes.
India. Like we have Australian rules football and rugby or rugby league is probably they're all
Hmm.
we play that all winter, and cricket is the summer sport here. So me growing
Hmm.
up in Queensland, I loved rugby league. I still do love rugby league. But cricket, I didn't get into it too much in the late 90s and early 2000s because Australia was so dominant, like which sounds funny, but
Yeah.
they were so dominant. Like teams just didn't stand a chance against them. Warren and McGrath, Gillespie, and then the batting order was
Head on.
Hayden, Taylor, or Slater, and Ponting, Damien Martin. They were unstoppable, and obviously Warren. So for me, like I would watch cricket. Like I remember seeing it on TV, but I think the first series I tried to watch was there was a test series either just before or the year before India in 2003. It might have been against New Zealand, and I did watch that series because New Zealand killing New Zealand. Like I think it was either that or a rain delay, and they started showing graphics of the touring Indian team that was coming, and they had graphics of just the statistics of Dravid, Tendulkar, Laxman, Kumble, and maybe
Mhm.
Ganguly as well. And then I loved numbers. I was very good at maths back then, and I thought, oh, these guys look really good. They might be really competitive. And then that was the series where they came to Australia and like they drew the series. They probably should have won the series really because Warren and McGrath weren't playing, but they just played really well. Like I watched all of that Test series. I was with my dad's family, and I watched that entire series, and that was the first Test series I'd watched from like start to finish. Like Adelaide, the Gabba, Ganguly's 100, Adelaide, the
Yes, yes.
double 100.
Rain, there was a rain also.
Yeah, yeah. And then MCG, I think Sehwag, like that was ridiculous. Sehwag like scored 195, and he could have got
Yes.
200. He just got
Yes.
caught on the boundary, but the one player I liked, but he kept getting really shit calls from the umpire. Like I think it was Steve Buckner.
Sachin.
He
Yeah, yeah.
he got like a really bad LBW call, one where the ball was like missing like by this over the stumps, and even Sachin like was like, what the hell? Like anyway, and he kept getting out, and I didn't really see him. Like Laxman played really well, and then I remember that Sydney match. I watched that entire innings. 241. Like, and that was from then I like loved cricket. It was that particular innings. He just batted all day, and like Stuart McGill was bowling, and McGill is like a world class leg spinner. Like, if Shane Warne didn't play for Australia, Stuart McGill would have got 400 Test wickets easily. Like, he was really good, and Brett Lee was obviously pretty good, and Tendulkar just like he batted for into day three. I think that was Steve Waugh's last game as well, and they batted till day three, and it was just crazy. Like that. That's I just loved Sachin Tendulkar from then, and then it was I would always watch cricket. Like, the following year was the Ashes, where Australia went back to just killing teams. They killed England 5-0, I think 2005, and yeah, they were just really good to
Seven.
watch. And I would always watch the summer of cricket here. It was a bit harder to watch games overseas, but I definitely followed like World Cups and things like that. And then another big moment was 2007-8 when Kumble captained here in Australia, and they had the one day series, the final, and that was unbelievable to see that live. Like, and Tendulkar never got 100. He got 91, I think he got out. And Ricky
In
Ponting,
Australia in one day, yes.
yeah, Ricky Ponting got a crazy catch to get rid of Tendulkar for 91. And then, yeah, I met Yuvraj Singh at the airport the next day, and I met Santa Kumran Srisanth. And Yuvraj Singh is a big guy. Like, I was maybe 14 at that time,
Yes.
and Yuvraj Singh is like, he's a big guy. He's probably the same height I am now. And I was like, oh, Yuvraj, like, you played really well yesterday. And he's like, oh, thank you, my friend. And
You were very lucky because we die here for meeting Indian players.
yeah. And then I saw Sri Sant, and I went up to him and I was like, are you Santa Kumaran Sri Sant? And he's like, yes. And I was like, oh, well done yesterday, winning. And he's like, oh, thank you. And and then yeah, I always tried to watch uh, cricket. I did have a bit more access to cable TV then. Like, I have seen like Sachin's 175. I watched the game where he went past Brian Lara as well. And yeah, I've been pretty lucky. The games I was able to watch, I saw a lot of really awesome moments, and even summer in Australia. Like, I saw Brian Lara here was amazing. He broke Alan Border's record here in Australia. So I remember
Hmm.
scoring that double hundred. Uh, and yeah, and obviously, like, I really loved Indian cricket, particular, and Test cricket. And then the World Cup, that was crazy when Dhoni. I watched all of that entire game. I took it off work. I sat, and the game finished here maybe after midnight here, and I watched that game. And Ravi Shastri's like, Dhoni finishes off in style.
28 years after,
Yeah.
something like that.
And it's an Indian captain who's been magnificent in the night of the final. So I remember that like vividly. And then I'd seen Kohli as well, and I appreciated Kohli as a good player, obviously. And I saw that Hobart innings here was crazy, where Malinga was at his prime, and Kohli was just destroyed him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I went to the Wacker because I wanted to see Sachin one last time in 2012, and I saw Sachin. Uh, he got out for like 40 in a one dayer, and then Kohli come in chasing. And against Sri Lanka, Kohli got like 73, 74, and it was like almost like a changing of the guard, like one great player's past it, and then another one's coming into his prime. And then once Sachin retired, I thought, it's not going to be the same watching cricket, because when I was a kid, I remember there was a game against Pakistan, test game in Sachin where he got out for 99 or something, and I remember I was watching that, and my mum's like, "Oh, Darren, you have to go to bed. You have school." And I said, "No, no, no, no. Sachin's on like 90. Let me see Sachin get to 100." And she would let me stay up to watch Tendulkar, and he got out for 99. I think he edged to Kamran Akmal or something, and I was like, fuck, like. And then but when he retired, like I watched his last innings, and his last innings was almost like a homage to him. He played an awesome straight drive. He cut the ball nicely. He played really well. And then when he retired, I thought, it's just not going to be the same, like I do, I love the cricket, but I just feel like it's not gonna feel the same. And then when he retired, and then like I remember, I think there was a tour to South Africa where Kohli and Pujara got hundreds, and Rahane got 90 something. And obviously that next tour here where Kohli took over from Dhoni, and he scored the 200s at Adelaide and just was destroying like a world class attack. And then all of a sudden it was just like now I love cricket more than I did when I was growing up. Now I follow it so religiously, and whenever Kohli plays, if he gets out, like it feels like I'm getting out. I get so angry when he gets out. I don't want to watch. Like the run out in Adelaide. Like I was driving and I had the radio on, and I heard the run out on the radio, and I'm like,
Oh, thank God you didn't have an accident.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe Rahane got run out. And then when they said it was Kohli, I was so angry. And then, it's funny. He's like, he has no idea I exist, or he has no idea, so many of us exist. And then when he gets out, we feel it as though we're the one getting out. It's funny how, just a player with a bat can do that. I do love all. I love watching Asian teams play. They always play like so passionately, and even like Mushfiqa, they're really passionate, and I just, they're aggressive, same as here in Australia, but the Asian sides generally are underdogs, especially when they come here. And that series where Kohli scored 400s was crazy, and then from now I like follow it so closely, and love it, and it all culminates into winning the series here last time, and everyone said, "Oh no, Smith and Warner, no Smith and Warner," and then now India's won it, and they're missing 10 players, so. I think it's going to be a golden era for Indian cricket, but everything just draws back to that first series I completely watched when India came here with all those legends, and that just made me love cricket, and that's why I had an idea to do something similar to this project maybe 2 years ago, but sort of talked myself out of it, and now it's like such a popular thing to do. So I thought, we can have a non-biased, chat about the cricketers we love, and, the different countries that we like watching. And it's different, there's not too many duos like us, that one is from India, one is from Australia. So I think that's where we're going to be a little bit different to other people, which is good. It's good for like you to see like an Australian point of view, and it's good for me to see like an Indian point of view. So this is just our first episode, and hopefully it becomes something big.
Good English versus bad English.
Well, my first goal is to somehow get to 1,000 views. That I said to my missus, I just want to get, if I get 1,000 views in a video, I'm going to be happy, you know. So hopefully we can do that, and then yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah, to everyone who is watching, who isn't one of our family members or something, yeah, that's our first episode, and apologies for the quality. I'm still learning to develop video editing and things
Yes.
like that. So yeah, if anyone made it this far to watch it, thanks, and sorry about the quality, but it's only gonna get better and go up from here. So yeah,
Yeah.
from myself and Rushi, thanks everyone for tuning into the Asia Cricket Podcast. Thank you.
Thank you very much again, Darren, for having me here and being giving me an opportunity to speak in a very bad accent and bad grammatical skills in English.
Yeah. Thanks for adding me on Facebook out of nowhere 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. That was the beginning for our friendship. Yeah, and it has
All
been a great fun and great journey.
right, hopefully on to bigger and better things.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yes.
All right, till next time, till tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.